This is generative AI. All the slides you will see now, all the graphics, we have created with generative AI because the conference is about concept and concepts. And so we thought, you know, let's do and let's try it out. So you will see different graphics in the background. So we have Bernd here. Bernd, you're new to the panel. You're replacing Manlio, who got stuck somewhere in Turkey, right? I think so. So we have the CEO of MCube here. We have John here from Mood Media. We have Pontus here from Visual Art. We have Per from ZetaDisplay, and we have Alberto from Trison. Thanks, and great to have you here every year, and it's a great honor. Stefan, I presented some numbers this morning, and the first half was difficult. At least when you talk to the hardware guys. So how was Q1, Q2 for you? Alberto, you want to start?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we are on track, so thanks God.
We're in family, so you can tell whatever you want. You know, nobody's naked here, so
yeah,
just
talk. I know. The truth is that well, we grew a lot last year, and anytime you grew more than 40%, it represents a challenge for next year, as you can imagine, no? Because the base is much higher, not to grow. Having said that, we have a very realistic budget for this year, which is also a tremendous growth. And we are hitting the target, no? So it's okay.
You mentioned beginning of the year you want to hit the 100 million. Is that still realistic?
Yeah, it's super realistic, I would say.
Wow, 100 million. That's a big number. Cool, good. Per.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on the panel. For Zeta, I mean, second half of 2022 was really good. We also, I mean, we have a strong pipeline, obviously, since we closed a lot of big deals during 2022. Looking at first half of 2023, we still have growth, so that's good. It's a bit slower. The tempo is a bit slower than we expected, but still growth.
Good. Yeah, I think you're the only one with public numbers, so you cannot really lie about it.
On our side, I can only confirm that after 2 years super growth of 2025 to 30%, that 23 will be a little more colder year, especially the first half of the year. When we did our budget in October 2022, we were saying that there will be a slowdown in the first half of the year, and we have pushed a bit more in percentage in the second half of the year. So we still hope that the sun will shine in the second half of the year. Everybody around here, I suppose. So yeah, it is a different year after 2 years of super growth, after the COVID of no growth. And but we think that 2024 again will be a good year on back with 15 or 20% on top again.
There's more action on French streets currently than
in terms of countries, of course, is a bit different. The northern countries, they will smile a bit. The southern countries, they will cry a bit. Of course, France is as usual, French exception, where there is a lot of not very funny stuff around. And when you are a retailer and you are broken, you are 4,000 nits display, then of course you ask yourself, should I deploy 100 or only 50 in the next 6, 12 or 9 months? So it's clear.
Yeah, but I'm sure Alan and some other ones have enough display on stock to replace them. That's fine. We had our first DSS in Bangkok 4 weeks ago, and I was surprised talking to Trison now and to you, MCube. I was really surprised about your activities there. And especially I met your colleague from Hong Kong who's running the business there. And I think most people in the industry are not aware of how much business, how relevant China, the greater China, and all the luxury brands are there. And like DFS, travel retail and everything, really, really interesting project. So not, advertising MCube, but I was really surprised how European vendors and also a little bit visual art, even it's not direct, but indirect business with a partner, all the cool stuff. And we had a panel similar to here, where the leaders panel of the 5 most important integrators of Asia, at least the ones we identified. And most of them, all of them use European software. Most of them are somehow connected to a larger player. So that's quite interesting. It also, shows a little bit, how much advanced digital signage concept and how much smarter digital signage is in Europe than in many other markets. John, how is Mood Media doing in the first half year of 2023?
And I think the, you know, based on what the others have said, we're seeing the same sort of market conditions. Things have slowed down a little bit more in the US. Asia's still going very strong. Europe is still going to be a very good year for us here in Europe. But I think there is definitely a headwind of certain larger retailers pulling back a little bit on some of their spend.
John, that's so interesting you mentioned the US. I heard that from so many, and also Dave, I'm not sure if he's here right now, but also Dave told me also that in North America, many of their vendors are complaining, and it seems like, and also when you look at the display numbers, the North American numbers, you know, the contraction is much larger than in Europe and in Asia.
Yeah, definitely.
So the crisis is already there. I mean, I'm sure we all will also get it here, but it's you can feel it and feel it already in North America. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
John, Mood Media, I mean, most people don't know Mood Media. They know Mood Media from 10 years ago. Lots of things have happened in between. So could you just give a brief introduction who your main clients are? Are these North American brands and you help them to bring, you know, their signage projects and their in-store music and TV projects to Europe? Or are the majority of the clients European customers you're pitching here and you're winning here?
So I think the answer to that is there's a mix. We do have many US customers that we're currently supporting worldwide. It was interesting to listen to what Chris had to say, because of course we bump up against Chris a fair bit in the US market. But we are seeing growth from the US still internationally. I think there is more growth though in terms of interesting clients in Europe, especially in luxury, that are expanding into the North American and Asian markets.
Cool. Pontus, you have won a lot of clients in the past years. It's very difficult to keep track of that. So how was your first half year?
We are doing really great, actually. So, I mean, 2023 is going to be a really good year for us. And right now, a growth rate over 30% year on year. And but then 2024 is really hard to predict. So in that sense, we act a bit careful. Otherwise, we would, I mean, speed up the game even more at this point.
Mm. You're busy in different vertical markets, or your clients in different vertical markets. Do you see any vertical markets which are behaving or which are, you know, developing better than others? Is it difficult more in food retail or in QSR or corporate? Do you see any vertical markets which are developing better? Nobody. No. Everyone is shy. You usually don't ever see anyone shy.
I will give you a clue. It doesn't matter. We see a lot of activity in automotive, no? Automotive is a vertical in transformation, and any vertical that needs transformation thinks in digital. So it is clearly an opportunity for all of us. I always say that we have to make altogether the cake bigger for all of us, and the opportunity is there because again, any vertical that needs to transform thinks in digital.
Mm.
Yeah, and I must say, I mean, I totally agree. All markets that is in some kind of transformation is a good marketplace right now.
Yeah, you're working. I'm not sure with a Chinese car manufacturer. I'm not sure if we're allowed to call it, to name it. But they're building up inner city stores. Do you see a big dynamic there, or do they have a different approach to digital signage than maybe European customers?
Yeah, it's very different to work with them, yes. But on the other hand, I mean, for us, normally working quite a lot with scale. I mean, big scale clients like, I mean, Subway, McDonald's, etc. Now we're down to making flagship stores. Is kind of a new thing for us.
Most of you have big, you know, frame agreements with large clients for global projects. So are you a little bit? What do you expect? You know, the agreements to develop in the next 18 months. Do you still expect that they will, you know, order as much as discussed, or do you have the feeling that, you know, 2024 will be a difficult year?
For us, if I can only speak for us, and being in luxury very strong, there's no danger that there is no further down the road a lot of business to do. There is no real slowdown. In other areas, of course, customers, they slow down a bit, but they do not they do only postpone. So it's not saying that, oh, digital signage, no, it's not anymore. No, it's only wait 6 months, wait 9 months, because inflation rate is high, so the retail values are going down, the revenues are going down, but we are very confident that it will grow again in 2024, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, looking at the global rollout or framework agreements that we have at Zeta, I think it's actually progressing really, really well. Luckily, most of the customers that we have those framework agreements with, they are doing well. The business are doing well, and we can also see that we provide them with a solution that actually support their business objectives, right? Meaning that they have continued to roll out during 2022. They have continued to do that in 2023, and we see that now for second half of 2023 and for 2024 that will accelerate.
We talk a lot about software today and tomorrow, and the role of software has changed. 4 out of 5, except Trison, you have your own software, and I think you're really proud of it, and you will probably say you cannot do your work as good as you're doing it without your own software. So how do you see the role of software changing the industry? And Alberto, are you ready to buy a software company?
Who knows about the future, no? But it is not for sure in our pipeline or roadmap at this moment, no? As you know, we decided to be agnostic. We are happy with this situation. We have very good partners, and we can prescribe for our customers the best solution for every vertical and for every circumstance.
Because you're working with really big guys. You're working with Grassfish, you're working with Navori, you're working with many players out there. Do you see big differences in their strategies, or is it similar, or is it just some of them are more focused in the vertical market, or is it the customer who's deciding, the end customer at the end of the day, deciding what kind of software, or what is the role of software?
I mean, what we always focus is on our customers. So the best for our customers is the best for us. So what we try is to find the right solutions, because finally what we do are concepts. We create experiences through technology. So we are not speaking really anymore about the screens or software, or what we are doing really is creating an experience in the physical space and liaising it with online. And for that, all the tools that we find that they are the best for the customer is what counts, no? So our value proposition is not to have something unique, is to find the best of the best for our customers.
I must say, I was a few weeks ago, I was in Madrid, and I had the honor to, Ignacio showed me a little bit around, and it was fascinating to see, and I can really recommend, if you have some time, go a weekend to Madrid. It's a beautiful city, A, and B, it's fascinating to see so many historical buildings right next to each other. One of them have been, you know, Primark was done by you a few years ago, and it's fascinating to see what role signage has and how it really works with space, with architecture, with historical architecture. Fascinating. So a few old cinemas. So yours, I think, the Primark is an old cinema. Opposite the Uniqlo was an old cinema. The Zara flagship store is not an old cinema, but a very historic building. It's fascinating to see, even in historic buildings where you have so many limitations, what signage can do and what kind of stories and rooms you can create. That was really fascinating. So just a little travel tip from Florian on the sideline. Talk about software. Visual art, you spend a lot of money into developing a new stack of software. Where are you, and do you see any benefits already there with the new software architecture?
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about, I mean, things are happening really quick right now. I mean, we're talking about retail media and so on, but also, I mean, for us trying to get to be a global brand, we need to be, I mean, cloud native, API first, everything that you said in your keynotes earlier this morning. So we have been building that for quite some time and launching it right now, the third version of our software, so to speak. So we think everybody, I mean, you need to be API first, cloud native. You need to be able to build on different platforms, regardless if it's a PC, media player, or a SOC solution. But also, and now we're going to send out a message for everybody. I think the playlist is dead.
That's a nice one. That's for Balthazar. The playlist is dead. For everyone who hasn't heard it yet.
I mean, if you, I mean, at least I'm using Spotify. I mean, Spotify was founded with the idea of creating your own playlist. Today, at least I'm not doing any playlist, creates any playlist for myself in Spotify. Spotify does that for me, makes the playlist. And same thing will happen in digital signage. I mean, the time when you have people sitting, making playlists, scheduling each screen, I mean, that is going 5 years back in time.
And Pontus, the Spotify example is so scary because even when you're offline, when you listen on the plane, so they store some music even which you don't know about, you know. They store on your player, and once you're on the plane also you listen to it. It's fascinating. Talking about Mood Media, you are very big also in in-store music. So do you have a vision that someday we will use the same software, or are the requirements for in-store music totally different to in-store TV?
So our platform that's built now, Harmony, is both. So we support music and visuals and interactivity. And I think, you know, just going on what Pontus just said, we recently acquired a company called Vibrionics in the US, which are an AI-based programmatic advertising company. And so we're now integrating those into our platform, and we're now deploying out advertising both across audio and visual on the same platform.
Yeah, I must say, Stefan and I, and the whole team, we spend a lot of time, you know, looking at your numbers, understanding your business and everything. And every time we look at Mood Media, it's like, wow, it's like a box of chocolates. It's very difficult in Europe to understand what you are. But once you look and you talk to the people in the US, you really see, wow, you have, you know, lots of mobile and everything. So it's really the full stack you're offering to your clients.
Yes, and mobile is another important point. The web to personal user data analytics piece is another area we're working on at the moment.
Yeah. Bernd, you also do much more than just a CMS. You acquired a French experience platform, and you merge now everything into one software. And so do you see customers picking that up? Do you see a larger demand for that you would need to offer more than just a CMS for music or for video, but that you also need to manage the whole customer experience?
100%. We run a strategy where we focus on our platforms because we think it's absolutely part of the DNA of our company, first. Second, of the value. Because we are looking, of course, for recurrent revenues. And how can you increase recurrent revenues is only if you are the master of your platform. So that's the reason why we acquired Omnichannel Solution. We are about to merge the Omnichannel Solution into the video platform. And like the Mood Medias of this world, of course, there is a combination between audio and video and Omnichannel, because more and more tenders are not anymore only about video, but multi-sensorial solutions, audiovisual solutions. And then if you have everything in-house, of course, you're better placed than the other competitor.
And to Mood Media and M-Cube, there was always this, you know, this rule in the market, you know, you cannot convert an in-store music customer to video. But both of you showed that and proved that it's possible. It's not easy, but once you have that trust, it works after a few years.
It's totally possible. We have a super upselling score because you have the trust of the customer. You talk already, because when you are saying playlist, I'm a little bit smiling because we never, ever do playlist. It's a forbidden word in M-Cube. We do programs, not playlists. That means it's an exclusive solution and not a random solution for audio or video. So it's very, very clear that we have upsold a lot of audio customers to video. Yeah.
Is there a French word for playlist? Probably not, huh? We have to talk about another trend, sustainability. And Per, I want to start with you because you're based in the Nordics, and the Nordics are always considered most advanced in regards to that. So you see, when you pitch with clients, you see them asking, especially for sustainable solutions, do they look at carbon footprint, all of these things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can see that's a clear trend. Looking at the large tenders, for sure, we do see expectations related to certifications, but also obviously different types of KPIs related to sustainability. So we have worked with like a sustainability agenda for a couple of years. We are a member of UN Global Compact. We have recently passed a few certifications. So yeah, for sure, looking at the global tenders and big tenders, that's clear expectations from the customers. So it's on top of our agenda related to product development, to build in features, obviously that support sustainability, but also it's a matter of having that on top of the agenda in the organization related to how we operate, how we travel, how we behave as a company, right? So it's a unique selling point for us.
So you're tracking your own carbon footprint, or is it of your organization?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're ready for the new EU directive to report your sustainability?
Definitely.
That's good, that's good. Because you're close with the revenue anyway, so you have to do that. Alberto, you have Spanish customers, a big fashion brand, but you also do a lot of projects in the Middle East. Is sustainability an issue there, or they couldn't care less, right? You have to say anything.
No, I mean, it is in our DNA, no? So it is, in this case, it's in our DNA. We cannot have 2 SLAs or 5 SLAs in the company, 5 ways of managing things, different systems for different customers, because what we do is, that would be a little bit of a mess, no? So we are certified ISO 14001 since, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like this, and we obviously have followed a path to go more environmentally friendly, as we all should do, and it applies to any kind of customer, so it is not related to the region itself.
Yeah.
I have to add something, that this gathering probably is the most environmental measure that we are taking all together, because we are saving a lot of traveling.
That's true.
Thanks to you.
That's a good thing. So next year more people have to come, so we save more. Or come to ISE, even more people are there. Pontus, you're also from Sweden, from Stockholm. Do you see a huge trend for sustainability? People are willing to spend more money. I know you use a lot of SOC, so you don't need a second media player and things like this. Is that something which is relevant? And do you already have to prove, or are customers asking for a concrete CO2 footprint of a certain technology so they can, compensate it or so?
I mean, of course, the clients, have more tougher requirements, yes. But I think we as an industry need to step up a little bit more than we are doing, actually, and drive it further. Both us as like a system integrator, but also, send it over to the hardware manufacturers. I think the life cycles of the products must improve quite a lot. I think a screen or a display should be able to have a longer life cycle than today.
I hosted another panel this morning with the hardware industry, and they said the same. They said, we're ready for that. It's just the integrators, so it's a little bit finger pointing. I think at the end of the day, we all have to sit together and find a solution, because clients, they want to do that. We hear that, they are willing to do that, and we need to find ways of extending warranties, finding leasing partners to really, reinvent. And we cannot just say 3+2, that's it. I think that's obvious.
But to be very frank and honest, I don't think, even though by the warranties, quite often we need to swap screens within the warranty period, even without extended warranty. So I for sure think the quality of the hardware product need to be improved.
John, as a US company, do you see that your head office is aware of what the role of sustainability in Europe, or are they still lagging a little bit behind? They have a general understanding, but they don't understand how relevant it is.
That would be correct. And I think, the European market is definitely leading on sustainability. We've got clients today that are demanding a certain wattage per square meter within their retail estates. And if you can't prove viability of the platform, they're asking you to cut down on the amount of digital that you install. So for us now, optimizing sustainability, using the cloud solution, reducing the amount of life cycle churn is very important, because that is being calculated now as a wattage per square meter or a CO2 per square meter. And we have a couple of clients now that, and I'm sure the other guys have within their RFPs, that's specifically stating what that number needs to meet. And that is reducing their footprint of digital in their stores, because they're being driven to a certain environmental standard.
Oh, well, that's a message. That's a message. So voltage per square meter is a KPI clients are looking at. Wow, that's good. Good to hear. We have 3 minutes left, almost 4 minutes left. I think we should shortly also talk about IT security. As digital signage is not a silo anymore, but really integrates with third-party software, with backend systems. Do you see there's a big pressure, or are security audits more complicated? Are other party doing it on behalf of big clients or so? Do you see any changes there?
Yes, SOC 2, SEML are all part of now conversations that we have with most.
SOC 2 is the US equivalent to ISO 27001.
Yeah, so we've delivered all of that in the last 2 years, but it's the ongoing reporting that you have to do, and retesting and pen testing, which takes the time. Well,
in our case, we are certified ISO 27001 since long. So obviously it's a concern for all the customers because it is like this. But since all of them, they are blue chip customers, it's normal. I mean, it's super normal that they treat these items seriously.
But some of your clients are still, IT security is very important for them, but CO2 sometimes doesn't seem that's so important. Or, I mean, when we look at some of your fashion clients or so, they put so much LED in there. It's fascinating. The experience is just fantastic. But CO2, it's probably not top of their agenda, or?
I mean, it depends on the way they want to communicate. If they want to communicate with the same frequency and with the same level of experience using vinyls, using paper, etc., it's precisely the contrary. You know, we are helping a lot in order to reduce the carbon footprint. We also use carbon footprint calculators in certain projects, and it is clear that when a customer is changing vinyls, as it always happens, no, in retail, every week or twice a week, it is the opposite.
So we have two KPIs, one voltage per square meter or CO2, and also experience per square meter. It's also a very interesting KPI.
Can I just build on that a bit, Florian? Because I think that we should also look at security as not only per se the software and, you know, doing pen test and having security as part of how you build a product. For us, it's equally important to have like security or very good processes, tools, and system in place how we operate. Because that will bring security, that will give a much better experience for the customer, and it will build much more security around the solution. So luckily, we have a very ambitious owner, and they are doing heavily now. You know, they invest heavily in the business related to system, tools, and processes, and also organization. And we can see that also benefit how we perform related to security.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time. I know that MCube also has a chief technology or information security, right? Yes. That's what you're also doing.
Yeah, we've put the task force. We have a security officer. We have run programs. We are on all that as well, running a lot. A lot of money goes in that. When I'm seeing the figures, I'm saying, really, do we need that all? Yeah, we need it. We really need it.
Good, good. Well, we would need some more time to continue this discussion. Unfortunately, we're running out of time because following here on this stage comes the panel of your challengers who want to replace you. So you better stay here and listen to who we are competing against.
Good luck.
Thanks for this panel. It was really insightful. Hope to have you back very soon in Barcelona and here in Munich. Thanks for you attending this session, and thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Ciao.